Taking what was once just an idea to a completed mobile app in the App Store that tens of thousands of people are using is something that every aspiring mobile app founder has. And if you saw my last video, I talked about my current mobile app that's in the App Store and the new one that I'm building around travel. I'm going to touch on some of the things I've done so far more in depth and my process for building mobile apps from planning to execution to actually getting users. And that's honestly what keeps me going, seeing people using the app that I created just from an idea that came to me a few months ago. My mobile app process always starts with an idea, and usually it stems from a problem that I'm having. And my new travel app, GuideMe, that I'm building is actually aimed at solving my own problems when I'm traveling. And as a software engineer for over 7 years, every time I went to another country or city, I always found it difficult to figure out where to go, what to see, and what to do. And I run into many other digital nomads that have the exact same problem. So finding an idea that you personally have and that you know other people have is really important for starting out in the very beginning. In fact, I would say a big portion of the success of your app, aside from distribution, is the idea itself. If your app is not solving an actual problem that people have, how do you expect people to want to use it? How do you think people are going to be searching for it if the problem does not even exist? You don't want to spend your time and money educating the public for an idea that they're not aware of. A great example is Peter Level's Nomad list that he made way back in 2016 or 2015. And it solved the big problem that all digital nomads had, which was not knowing where the good Wi-Fi is, where the good cafes are, where the good spots to stay are. And I've actually lived this problem. So GuideMe is actually scratching my own itch, which is to have somebody actually show me around the city that I'm in and guide me around so I know more about the city. And once you have a good idea that you validated from the lived experiences of other people and yourself, then you should go ahead and start making wireframes. Start to write things out on paper, talk about the features that the app will have and the main pain point that it will solve. You can make low fidelity wireframes just with a pen and paper, and that's how a lot of people get started. And once you get past this step, you can actually design the rest of the app in Figma. I remember using Sketch way back when to design my products, and then I switched to using Figma. And if you want a cheaper alternative, there's a product called Motif, which I actually recently found, and it's kind of like a Figma clone, and it's good because it's not as expensive as Figma. So if you don't have much to spend, then just use Motif. This video is the second video in a series called Building GuideMe. In my last video, I talked about my other marketplace app that has many thousands of users. It's in the App Store, on iOS, and in the Play Store. My goal with GuideMe is to get the MVP out as soon as I can so I can iterate on customer feedback and put out something that'll help other people and have bigger impact. I think marketplace apps have a bigger impact on society than utility apps or productivity apps. But if you think about the biggest marketplaces, you've probably crossed paths with them at some point in your life. They take longer to grow, but they are valued much higher. So what have I done in the short amount of time that I've been working on the app? Well, I've done authentication, registration. You can set up a profile, you can log in, log out, you can delete your profile, you can change your profile settings. And I've done all the screens with all the static assets, and I've distributed the app on test flights so that a few other people can test the app while I'm building it. And I believe in getting beta testers into your app as soon as you can get the test flight up and set up your authentication. I like to use Firebase because Firebase gives you quick and easy authentication right out of the box. And you can also store collections of data in Firestore and get your MVP out faster than if you were to use some other complex database or backend as a service. In my current marketplace, which I've talked about before, I used a more complex infrastructure, which is good for scaling and projecting your costs for the future. But for this app, I want to just get a quick MVP out to test to see how people respond to it. And for my other marketplace, I did use Firebase for authentication, but I made the infrastructure more complex. I also used DynamoDB for the backend, Lambda functions, S3, Terraform. I use a lot of complex infrastructure, which you don't really need to do. Anyways, whenever I start a project, after I'm done with prototyping it in Figma, I like to build all the screens and all the tabs that the app is going to have. I'll put static data, I think about the data structure for the user and for the other models of the app. Then when everything is ready and I feel like I'm satisfied with how the design was transferred into the screens in the actual simulator or the device, then I'll go ahead and hook up a backend to it and work with an API to bring data into the app. I've also done the onboarding, which I'm using Firestore for, to set up all the user fields that save user data as they're going through the onboarding, which is really important for retention. So don't slack off on your onboarding. I've done the profile settings, which allow people to add their profile photo, their profile images, which are in a carousel, to change their preferences. These are all really important things that need to be really solid in your mobile app before you release it to the public. Because the last thing you want to do is get accepted to the App Store, then get bad reviews on your mobile app. Another side note I wanted to talk about is that we all have busy lives, and I do too. I'm juggling a lot of different things. So building my mobile app is something that will take some time, and that's okay. You always see these random headlines like, I built this app in 24 hours and it got 55 million users in 10 minutes, or some crazy stuff. And you shouldn't really believe it, because all that stuff is overinflated. Many of those numbers are not real or just heavily exaggerated. So take your time, go at your own pace, but have your goals set in mind. Don't feel bad about it. If you had to take your time because you had to attend to your kids or you had something else going on in your life, then just realize that we're all human and this takes time. Good things come to those who wait, and really focus on the product and the end experience for the user. That's just a side note. Anyways, I'm nearing the completion of the mobile app, and the last few things I have to do are allowing user to request a tour or for someone to show them around by going into their profile and trying to solicit a tour. Also chat, which again does take time, but I'm inching towards my end goal, which is getting this app approved on the App Store and being able to market it. I do plan to do a pre-launch, which is a feature that is built into App Store Connect, where you can go and have people download your app before it's even ready. And right below the download button, there's something that says coming soon or expected on such and such date. And I'm documenting this to take you on the journey with me. So stick around and stay tuned if you like this content, and if you want to see me launch this app, maybe even use it if you're digital nomad. And this was just giving you guys a good idea of what it's like to build your own app while juggling other things in your life. Any questions you have, you can ask me on any of the links down below. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.